Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is Maria with Red Clover, and we're here with another author interview today. We're here with Stephen Kersey, and he is the author of Big Cat Pirates, Tiger's Gold. And this is Red Clover Reader, and we are the online, value-based, and diverse place for children's literature. So thank you so much for joining us today, Stephen.
No problem. I'm glad I can be here.
Yeah. So in Stephen's book that we'll be discussing today, Lion Captain Coldheart goes on an adventure, and he's searching for the infamous pirate Orangebeard. And this is a great fiction book for children of any age, as it teaches adventure through fiction, and it also touches on courtesy, justice, respect, and generosity. So we can start discussing this awesome book. So can you introduce yourself a little bit, Stephen, and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, like you said, my name is Stephen Kersey. I'm 40 years old. I've been married for about 11 years. I have 2 kids. My oldest son Jackson turns 8 next month, and my daughter just turned 5 last month, or this month actually.
Awesome.
And
Nice. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got the inspiration for your book, Big Cat, Pirates, Tiger's Gold?
it's actually because they're my own cartoon characters are the Big Cat Pirates. So I drew them probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I combined, because I've been doing art for over 20 years, and people have always told me that I should do my own characters. So I took my love of tigers and all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and I combined them, and I came up with the Big Cat Pirates. And so I had maybe about 20 different characters or so, and I was trying to find a way to basically share my characters with everybody, with the world, if you will. And so it took me a couple years and several different drafts and tries, and I finally came up with my first book, Big Cat Pirates, Tiger's Gold. Here it is right here.
Yeah, awesome. It's a great read. Can you tell us a little bit more about the main characters, especially Lion Captain Coldheart, and how you really developed those characters and got the ideas for them?
Yeah, well, the main characters are Captain Coldheart, and he kind of, when I originally came up with him, he was kind of inspired a little bit by Captain Hook, but I didn't want him to be totally Captain Hook, so that's why I gave him the gold Triton. So instead of having a hook for a hand, he's got the gold Triton, and he's one of those. Because he's a pirate, he's not. You would think he's a bad guy, but he's actually more of the good guy, and then throughout the book, some of the other characters, like his best friend, is also his first mate, who's a tiger shark. He's actually a tiger, and I think in a future book, I plan to go a little more into story of how some of them get their names and stuff.
Yeah, awesome. It's a very interesting development of characters, and that would be a cool addition. But can you tell us also a little bit about when you started writing this book and your process a little bit?
I started writing Tiger's Gold probably about 2 years ago or so. I had written probably about 5 or 6 short books, and I had somebody at the public library was reading through them, and my first book didn't really have much of a storyline to it. It was more just an introduction to the characters, which wasn't good because basically what you're reading is what you see in the picture. So it's not really anything to get you to want to read the book. And then I had another book that I had my other characters that I made were actually almost identical to characters from Pirates of the Caribbean, which would have been bad if I tried to make that into a book. So I had to scratch all my books except for the one that didn't have any of the characters in it, and that ended up becoming Tiger's Gold.
Okay, awesome. That's interesting. So how did you decide to put this story into specifically children's literature?
Because because like I said, it was mostly it was to broadcast my characters, and I figured that my kids seem to like it, and I have a lot of nephews and nieces, and whenever they would see my characters and I try to come up with stories about them, and they seem to get excited, and so I figured that my book would be more for younger kids, because I don't know how old kids would react more to my books and my characters than children that are closer to my own kids' ages.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So when you're not writing, you're not illustrating, what do you do in your free time?
I like to watch. I watch TV. I play games, and I like to spend time with my children. I do that a lot too. And then, well, my free time I do writing and illustrating, because I've actually started working on my second book. I've been spending a lot of my free time on that.
Okay, wow, that's cool. So who is your ideal reader for this book or possibly just your literature in general?
Probably like for this book would be about elementary school ages, like my own kids. So probably from about 5 to maybe like 10, 11. I think they might still be at that age where they still like to read it, because as you get older, they tend to be into more action and adventure. And there's a little bit in my book, but it's not that long of a book, so that's why it's more for elementary ages. Because once you get out of elementary school, you get into where you want the chapter books and the longer books, and so I figure about elementary school age children.
Yeah, I'd agree. So if someone was searching our website, they were on Red Clover, they were looking through the boutique, deciding a book to buy. Which book or what is your pitch that you would tell them, hey, open Big Cat Pirates and read Tiger's Gold and read about the characters? What's your pitch to them?
Well, the Tiger's Gold has a lot to do with actually the way you described it in the beginning. I didn't even realize it had all that stuff in it. That it's got the you learn respect and loyalty and friendship, and I think overall it's family. That even though they're pirates, that they still have family, because that's the whole basis of it. Is that when you read the book, you learn more how it has to do with family. But even some of my characters, like you read in me that like Tiger Shark, his son is actually a member of the crew too, and you learn that in the book that his name is Great White, and that's Tiger Shark's son. And then you learn other family relations and stuff as you go throughout the book, but I don't want to give too much away because I want people to read my book.
Yeah, that's interesting. It is true that it all kind of ties back to family. There's a lot of other values, but I would agree that family is the main value. So kind of going along with that, what are your tips, especially as a parent yourself, that you would want to leave to young children or young parents that are on our website or just watching this in general?
Well, if you're on the website, try to find books that you know your kids would be interested in. Like that was a lot of what kind of inspired me a little bit with my writing, but also I wanted to write it so that kids would be interested in it. That they would see whether they like pirates or rather they like lions and tigers, and or just in general, just the adventure. And that's what my book is all about. And if you're on the Red Clover Reader, that's you find books that are adventurous and teach kids some kind of, even if you can't tell right away, but there is a message behind the book, whether it be loyalty, friendship, family. Sometimes you have to, it's not as easy to find it in some books, but it is good if you can find books that do have that kind of message behind it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good message. So I think that wraps up our interview. Is there anything else you would like to share for today?
No, I'm glad I have this opportunity to meet with you and talk to you a little bit more about my book. And so I hope anybody who's watching this, they haven't got my book yet, then they'll go ahead and get a copy of it, because I know they will love it as much as their children will.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, today for joining us. Thank you for coming on and talking to us, Stephen. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm glad I was able to do this.
Yeah, so this is Stephen Kersey again with the Big Cat Pirates, Tiger's Gold. So definitely check out this book and get a little bit more insight. And it's definitely a great book for children of all ages, and the illustrations are great as well. So I would highly recommend it. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. This is Maria again with Red Clover Reader, the online value-based and diverse-driven website for children's literature. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and thank you, Stephen.